Okay, let's get started. Last week we focused on forward folds. So this week we're going to do some back bending. So at any time when we're bending our backs, you'll put more pressure on your back if your levers are extended, if your arms are extended, so you can keep them down or put your hands actually on your lower back for it. You don't have to extend for all of the postures. Okay, since you're all standing, we'll start standing. Come up to the tops of your mats. Close your eyes and breathe. Settling down into both of our feet. Anchoring down into the earth of feeling even the support of the earth coming up to hold your body. The air on your skin. Take a moment to notice your skin. Noticing the air entering our bodies through our nostrils or our mouth, nice and cool, filling our lungs. And slowly allowing that air to come out. A few more deep breaths this morning, breathing in until you feel like your lungs are completely full, and then sipping in just a tiny bit more. Breathing out, getting all of the air out of your lungs, every little bit, and then pushing out the last little bit. A few breaths like that, really cleansing the lungs today. Stretching our chest from the inside out. We'll start our flowing mountain. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Exhaling, bringing our hands back to our sides. Inhale, sweeping, pressing down into the mat. Letting go today of your morning. Letting go of any expectations on your body, on your practice. And focusing within. Working out because we love our bodies. A few more flowing mountains. Then we'll turn that flowing mountain into a flowing aeroplane, going halfway down on an exhale. Inhale, sweeping back up. Exhale, diving forward, lengthening the spine. Inhale, coming up. 10, 15 more of those. So really settle in and try to match your breath to your movement. Allow the breath to start the movement, and then you follow. Bending our backs today gently, keeping our spines healthy with movements. Let's turn this flowing airplane into that full forward fold, all the way down. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhaling, diving forward. Pressing down into the earth. And if it feels okay today, we're adding a back bend at the top of our flowing forward fold. So checking in with your back. You could bring your hands back behind your back for your back bend and then forward fold, or extend your arms up to the sky. Closing our eyes if we can throughout our practice today to really focus within, letting go of any competition. Holding it down in forward fold. Halfway lift today. Let's bring our hands behind our knees for our halfway lift. That'll help us really try to extend through our spine, working towards almost straightening out our elbows as we reach our head forward. Exhale down to fold. Inhale, come back up, halfway lift. If it feels okay, we're holding on behind our knees today. Exhale, folding. Let's do a few more. Drawing the body up with the strength of our core, and then folding, letting the spine relax. On this last one, holding it right down, letting the head be heavy, even allowing our head to dangle a little bit here. Nodding our head yes to listening to our body today. Bending our knees, let's take our left foot back. Your knee can be up or down onto your mat, and we'll rise up into a lunge with a small back bend. Again, hands could be at your heart if you're taking care of your back, or right into your lower back. We'll step back to downward facing dog or all fours and bring the left foot up between the hands. Right knee goes up or down, coming up into our crescent lunge with a small back bend. And then back to downward facing dog. Pedaling our feet here or choosing to come down to all fours. We've found some space between our feet. We're pressing the earth away with our hands. Breathe. Gazing up to our hands, let's inhale to all fours and exhale to child's pose. Take a little rest for the back. Find some space across the lumbar spine. Perhaps massaging our foreheads down on the earth today. Really nice to calm anxiety. This pose, child's pose. Safe and secure, just like childhood should be. Looking up at our hands, let's come into our kneeling plank and into today's striking cobra. So the hips drop down and we look up into striking cobra. So it's like up dog, but our kneecaps are down on the mat. Back to child's pose. And we'll do that again on an inhale, right into striking cobra. Exhale to child's pose. If anyone wants to begin to flow from downward dog to striking cobra, you can. So it's basically the same as down dog, only trying to get our hips down on the mat. Basically a deeper bend in your back. Beautifully done. Let's meet in our plank, fuller kneeling. Holding here and breathing. Dropping down our knees to all fours, sliding our hands under our elbows. Let's turn our creases of our elbows kind of towards the center of our mat today and move into cat and cow. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Well, you could do either. If you want to bring some awareness to your pelvic floor, try switching up that breath. We exhale into cat, inhale into cow. No opposite, yeah. Do whatever feels good. Noticing our pelvis strong and stable. Last cat, last cow. Downward facing dog or child's pose. And choosing to rest now, everybody, or flowing through our half series, coming forward, fuller kneeling plank, halfway or all the way down. Our up dog or our cobra, maybe striking cobra, back to our bellies, pushing up and back to child's pose or down dog. And flowing or resting again at your own pace, forward, halfway or all the way, cobra, striking cobra, either back to your belly or back to downward facing dog. Flowing all on your own now with your own breath. Or choosing today to take a rest and honor your body in case you're dealing with any injuries today. We'll meet in child's pose or downward facing dog. If we're choosing our child's pose today, let's tuck our thumbs into our hands. Give our thumbs a little hug with our hands and make some circles with our wrists. Resting our wrists slightly. Bringing some movements to it. We'll place the hands back down on the mat. Gazing up at our hands from wherever we are to bring our left foot up between the hands. Rising up to our full or kneeling crescent lunge. And exhaling to forward folds. Left foot lunging back, knee up or down. One more crescent lunge, bending our backs. And forward fold, pushing up our back foot. Halfway lift, breathing in, breathing out, folding. A few more times like that, rolling the shoulders away from our ears. Amazing job. On our next one, inhaling to chair pose. Exhaling, forward folding. Flowing through that vinyasa from chair to fold. Bending and straightening our legs. On our next inhale, coming to chair and exhaling to mountain pose, straightening up. Let's take our left foot back today, turn towards the windows. We'll move in through some moonflowers and sunflowers. Big, beautiful breath up. Exhale, bend our elbows, bend our knees. Flowing at your own pace. You can close your eyes here or enjoy the sun. A few more. We'll turn it into our sunflower when we're ready. Always bending our knees when we reach towards the floor. Couple more. Holding in goddess pose, so the chest is up. Hips are slightly back. We're checking in with our knees to make sure that they're not, well, not too far in towards the center of our mat. Bringing our left hand to our right knee. The other hand to the other knee. Yeah, no, Denise. Yeah. Okay, I'm not making any sense. Okay, hands to knees. Push into one knee and that shoulder drops towards the other knee. There, the shoulder reaches, not the hand. Breathe. Bring it up. And other side, push. Drop that shoulder down towards that opposite foot or knee. We'll bring it back to center, lift up, bring our hands to goddess pose, and just make some flexion with our spine now, side to side. Last one. Tick-tock those feet together, step up to the tops of your mats, and we'll move on to our sun salutation. So if you want to drink right now, go ahead, take a drink, and then we'll move on. Awesome song. All right, so we come up to the tops of our mats. So for today's practice, we're going to add in that back bend to our lunges and striking cobra if you want to do that instead of cobra or up dog. All right, settle into all 10 toes, the heels of our feet, soften the knees, find your core. Big breath up, inhale. Exhale, diving into fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Bending our knees, left foot back, knee up or down, inhaling right into that crescent lunge or your regular lunge. Exhaling to child's pose or downward facing dog. Choosing to rest here or flowing through your half series, maybe with your striking cobra. And back to down dog or child's pose. Bringing the left foot up between the hands, kneeling or full lunge. Add your back bend if you'd like to. Exhaling, forward fold. Make sure to anchor through your front foot. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Sweeping up to the sky. Feel the length of your body. Exhale to chair pose. Back up, breathe in, sweep, press into the feet. Exhale to mountain. So our mountain is a nice pose. Big breath up. Exhale, dive into fold. Halfway lift, inhaling. Exhale, folding. Bending our knees, right foot going way back to the edge of our mat, heel up, crescent or regular lunge. Back to down dog or child's pose. Choosing to rest here, or let's flow. Inhale, plank, striking cobra or up dog, and right back to down dog. Looking up to the hands, we bring the right foot up between them. Find your lunge, choose where you want your hands. Maybe they're on your low back. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift, breathe in, shoulders roll from the ears. There's a little bit of tension between our shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Sweep to sky, big breath. Exhale to chair. Back up, breathe in. Exhale to a mountain pose. And again, inhale, rise up. Exhaling, forward folding. Halfway lift. Fold again. Bending the knees, left foot back. Rise to your lunge, full or kneeling. Exhale to down dog or child's pose. You can rest here or flow through. Inhale. Maybe you inhale to right to striking cobra and an exhale to down dog or child's. Left foot lunging up to the hands. Take your time, rise to lunge. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Sweeping all the way up. Exhale to your chair. Back up, breathe in. Exhale to mountain pose. Let's do one more. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, dive. Halfway lift. Fold. Right foot back. Find your lunge. Down dog or child's pose. Flowing or resting, all on your own. When you're ready, right foot between the hands. Find our lunge. And fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Fold again. Sweeping all the way up. Exhale to chair. Back up, breathe in. Exhale to mountain pose. Let's bring our hands back behind us, chest expansion, or just holding onto imaginary ball, or reverse prayer. You want to bring your hands together back behind you, you can. And then you can choose to fold or not fold. Whatever feels nice for your head today, for your body. And we'll release those hands, sweep all the way up and get on with our practice, moving on to the strength portion of our practice. So adjustments of the clothes. Got my Halloween shirt on, namaste, witches. Yeah. It's a little tighter this year. All right, we're going into a twisted chair to start with our back work. So let's take the feet together, the knees together, turn this way, and come down into your chair. It's also called thunderbolt sometimes, making a bit of a thunderbolt shape with our bodies. Our hands can stay here, or you could bring them to your heart if that feels a little bit better. Squeezing our thighs together, our ankles together, our knees together. We can stay here or bring our left hand to our right knee, right hand to low back, or your whole forearm down across your knees, or bringing that bottom hand down to the mat or a block and sweeping the other arm up. So choose what feels right for you in a position where you can breathe, where you can feel good in the posture. You can feel strong. Forward fold, exhale. Head is heavy. Let's walk our hands over to the right side of our mat and bend slightly our left knee. Bringing it back to center. The knees come back together, the inner thighs together. We bend and rise back up into our chair or thunderbolt on the opposite side. Breathe. Choose where you want to have your hands today. Take a moment to notice your pelvis, strong, the spine extending out. And then choose your twist. Hand across, supporting your lower back. It's nice and flat. Or forearm down to both knees, or hand to mat and the other hand up. Breathing. Forward fold, exhale. Walking our hands to the other side, so the left side of your mat, and slightly bending your right knee. We're going to flow through dancing warrior on either side for our vinyasas today. Let's step back to downward dog. And if you've never done dancing warrior, don't worry, you know all the parts to it already. Let's lift our right foot up into three-legged dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring it up between the hands. Rise up to warrior one. Heel goes down and we rise up. Warrior two, right arm forward, left arm back. Reverse warrior, right hand lifts up towards the sky. Our right knee's bending. Whoa, phone. Down to side angle, right elbow to right knee, and you're extending your left hand to me. Back up to warrior two. And then chaturanga, we go halfway down or all the way to your belly. Striking cobra or up dog, breathing in. Back to down dog, breathing out. Three-legged dog on the left side, so you're lifting your left foot, breathing in, breathing out into your lunge. Heel goes down in the back. Warrior one, breathing in. Warrior two, breathing out, turning towards the long wall. Left hand lifts up into reverse warrior, breathe in. Breathe out, side angle, left elbow to left knee, right hand reaches towards the front of the room. Amazing, back to warrior two. So we lift back up, palms down, chaturanga. Make sure you lift your back heel before you step back. Up dog, cobra or striking cobra. Back to down dog. Beautifully done. Let's look up between our hands and bring our left foot up between them. We're moving right into a triangle pose. Right heel goes down, we straighten out the left leg, left hand to the inside of your left calf. We open up our right hand up into triangle. Breathe. We've got a little bend in our knees, maybe even a block under our hand to empower ourselves today. Looking at our front foot, we'll turn the left foot towards the long edge of your mat for a wide leg forward fold. And last week, we learned a bunch of options for your forward fold that you could use now. Could have hands behind you, hands on a block in front of you, hands on the floor, hands on your hips. So many options. Turning our gaze back up towards our left toe, we'll turn it towards the front of your mat, straightening that left leg still. Our right foot slightly in on an angle. Wonderful. Right hand to floor or mat, and left arm lifts up into a twist. Adjust your back foot as needed to take care of your hips. Looking at our front foot, let's step back to downward dog. Amazing. One dancing warrior, lifting our right foot, three-legged dog. Exhale to a runner's lunge. Inhale to warrior one, rising up. Warrior two, right hand forward. Reverse warrior, right hand lifting, breathing in. Side angle, right elbow to right knee, reaching to me with your left hand. Back up to your warrior two. And chaturanga. All the way or halfway up dog, striking cobra. And back to downward facing dog. Looking up between our hands, we'll bring the right foot up between the hands. Right into our triangle on this side, dropping our back heel down, straightening out our right leg, opening up the left hand up towards the window, into our triangle on this side. Breathe. Feel and notice your spine, your center. That amazing part of your body that runs down the center of it. Looking at the right toes, turn those toes towards the long edge of your mat, come down into a wide leg fold on this side. Maybe walking your hands back, even taking, if you can, your forearms down to the mat and head to the mat, thinking of putting a little bit of pressure on the forearms. Breathe. Looking up at those right toes, turn them back towards the short edge of your mat. Turn the left foot slightly towards the top corner, and we move into our twisted pyramid. So left hand down on the floor of the mat, right hand reaching up. Breathe. Maybe a block underneath that left hand, and you could even put your right hand on the lower back instead of reaching up. Take your time to find your version of this pose today. Let's look at our front foot, bring our chest so that it's facing our mat again. Lift our left heel and slide it in about a foot, that whole foot, back into a pyramid pose where we can have our hands behind us on a block in front of us in chest expansion or in reverse prayer for your pyramid. You're thinking, where are all the back bends, Denise? Don't worry, they're coming, in case you're worried. We'll simply switch feet for pyramid on the other side for about 5-10 breaths, working towards a relative straightness in the legs. The hips are reaching back, the head is reaching forward, and then you choose where you want to put your hands. Blocks really helpful for this one. We'll step it back to downward facing dog, do our dancing warrior, and then we'll make our way down. Left foot lifts into three-legged dog, breathe in, breathe out into a runner's lunge. So our chest is still down, heel goes down, we rise up on a breath in to warrior one, facing up towards me. Warrior two, facing the long wall, arms are wide. Left hand reaches up into reverse warrior. And on a breath out, side angle, so left elbow, left knee, and your right hand reaches up towards the front of the room, strong core. Back up to your warrior two. And all the way to chaturanga. Lift that back heel halfway or all the way to your belly. Up dog or striking cobra. And back to child's pose, everybody. Take a little rest. Breathe. Reset your intention. Remember why you're here. looking up at those hands. We're going right to, actually, no, we're going to walk our hands towards our knees. We'll do camel first and then go into locust. So that's why I brought everybody a block in case camel is not a part of your practice. It'll go somewhere back between your feet because we'll be reaching back towards our feet. And if you can't quite reach your feet, that's no big deal. You're not alone. That's why the block is there to help you, because we want to try not to lean back, sit back. So the hips stay forward and we're reaching back and bending our backs instead of leaning back. But you might naturally do that anyway. We'll just check in with it after. We'll start with just a flow, right hand to our right hip. Let's reach up and reach back. Keeping our hips up and back. Other side, we'll keep our hip forward, reach it back. For the block, maybe we go to our heel without leaning back and forward. And flow side to side. Bending and stretching and opening your chest. So the goal is not to reach back there as far as you can go, but to gently bend your back. And then if anyone wants to go into our full camel, you'll reach back with both hands. See how I went back? Oh, but then come forward again or grab that block. If it doesn't feel nice for your back, you want to think about this pose as a chest opener rather than trying to, oh yeah, it's a good quad stretch, yeah. So that block's really helpful. Or even another little thing you could do is if your heels are up like that, they're a little bit closer to you. And it's going to feel really good right now when you go back to child's pose. Take your blocks out first. You want to sit back onto them. Breathe, feel and listen. Be doing our camel one more time, walking our hands back towards our knees, lifting up. If anyone's taking care of their knees, just roll your mat up to make yourself a little bit more cushioning. This time we'll take the hands to the lower back and move into camel in that position, or reaching back for your heels. So you can choose yours now that we know a few options. So in terms of the neck, we want to be able to swallow comfortably. Turn the tops of the feet back down. Child's pose for a few breaths, and then we'll be making our way right to our bellies. Looking up at our hands, let's shift it forward, slowly lower to our bellies. Our kneecaps are on the mat, the tops of our feet are on the mat. We're going to work towards locust and half bow and full bow. Okay, so locust pose, we're lifting our chest up. And if it doesn't feel nice, slide a block underneath your rib cage, reaching our hands back towards our heels. And then lifting our kneecaps up off the mat as well. Looking in front of us on the mat, on the floor. So while our head is reaching in one direction, our fingertips are reaching back for our heels. We're honoring the breath here, making sure that we can breathe and listen to the body. Let's bring our hands in front of our face, make a little diamond shape there, place our foreheads down, and just rock our hips side to side. Something to help your body relax. All right, so slide our right forearm in front of the body to help us up. So that is helping lift our back, and we're reaching our left hand back for our left foot. It's okay if you can't quite get there, you can just grab the back of your pants, but let's try to grab our flexed ankle instead of our foot. There's lots of nerves on the top of our foot, so we'll try to hold on to the ankle if possible, and then This is really going to stretch your quad, lift your quad up. Yeah, you really, yeah, it's like such an interesting feeling, that little lift. It's going to get a lot more interesting when we try to do both sides. All right, let's bring this other arm across. Support yourself on your body. But again, if that doesn't feel good, you could rest your whole chest down on the mat for this one. We'll reach back, working towards grabbing our ankle with a strong flexed foot to protect our knee, and then working that knee up. Whew. Ooh, the tree almost went down. Bring it down, take a little rest. You can rock your hips side to side again. Just loosen up. And then we're going into full bow pose. So if that's something that you don't want to do today, you could prop up your sternum with your block and reach towards your heels, or reach towards your heels, grab your ankles. Now you'll notice even with me, my legs come apart here. You want to draw them back together and lift. Not a great position if you have to go pee, but still long. You don't have to stay in this much longer. Breathe. Slowly release. And rest the head. Rock the hips slightly. Big, beautiful back bends. Keeping our backs healthy. Pushing up now, making our way to a seated position, dropping down onto a hip. So let's have our left, yeah, we're gonna have a good stretch. Left knee here, right knee is gonna try to walk all the way around. There we go. So if you're feeling off center quite a bit, you can drop a block underneath your backside to lift you up so that you can stack the knee on top of the other knee. And a modification for this would be to have your bottom leg out straight like that. Okay. So it's all about the feeling, and you should feel it in your right hip or glute area. And if it works for you today, we do a little hinge forward. Still trying to anchor our sit bones down. This is a big, beautiful stretch. Really great for your lower back. Awesome. Softening our jaws, letting our faces relax. We'll unravel ourselves. It sometimes can be easier to come to all fours to make this switch, to bring the opposite knee in front so our heels go out a little bit, and then we're sitting back. So now trying to stack your left knee on top of your right knee. And the modification for this is to keep this leg out straight, and we're just doing our regular twist that we normally do, or we bend. There we go. Whew. So you may notice different sensations on different sides of your body, and that's totally normal. We'll reach it forward, stretching out most likely your left glute or hip, or modifying with the twist today, and you'll still stretch the exact same thing. Amazing job, ladies. Bring it forward. We're going to work into a forward fold and then an incline plank for our back. Let's sit up and hinge forward towards our feet, reaching our chest long, feeling a stretch. letting go. You can imagine a nice warm campfire on your back, just relaxing your back here. Walking the hands back up. So I've got a modification for anyone that doesn't want to do full incline plank, which is here. Your modification is for the half of it. You do it with one foot bent, and then I'll tell you when to switch and you'll do it with the other foot bent. So full or half incline plank. We'll lift up, trying to work the soles of the feet down onto the mat and opening across our chest. If it doesn't feel nice, and it might not for your calves, bend a knee and just do one side for now. Slowly lowering, switch feet or go back up with both feet. This time focus on opening the heart up towards the sky, strengthening the back of your body while you're stretching the front of it. Slowly lowering our hips down. Let's take our hands inside, our thumbs in, give some rolls for our wrists. Work them hard. And then the opposite direction. Oh, creaky, cracky. It's like Rice Krispies. All right, make your way back onto the backs of your mats. We're going straight into happy baby. Knees come outside of the rib cage. And we're taking either a rocking happy baby today, holding maybe the backs of our legs, peace fingers to big toes. So many ways to find a hip release here. Do what feels good for you. Stretching our hips, massaging the lower to the mid part of our back. We'll meet in the center and draw the knees back towards each other. And then reach our feet up into legs up a wall. Or knees bent if that doesn't feel restful for you. Modifications can be to put a block underneath your lower back here if you'd like to. And to do that, you'll press the feet into the mat again, lift up your backside, place the block underneath your lower back, and then reach the heels back up. Only an option. Widening across our chests. Allowing our whole head to be supported down on the mat. Giving our feet some love. Our legs some love. Bending our knees, opening up our wings, palms face the sky. We'll drop our knees really gently towards one side. And if you'd like to, extending your top leg long. Anchoring our shoulder blades. Wonderful. Let's bend that knee if it's straightened. Think of your obliques, your core lifting you back up. You could even go one knee at a time if that feels better. And slowly lowering your knees to the opposite side. Anchoring your shoulder blades. If your knees don't quite come to the mat, that's okay. You could put a block underneath them. Adding in or taking away anything to your practice to help you feel good in the moment. You can straighten our top leg if that feels nice for you, but you don't have to. Awesome. Let's bend the knees, rock side to side. And massage our lower back a little bit here. And one bridge pose to end our back bends. We press, but for today, let's bring our heels of our feet a little bit closer to our back sides today. Press down into the earth. Slowly rise up, still keeping the knees towards each other and breathing. We can clasp our hands underneath us if that's part of our practice, or stay right where we are, anchoring to our shoulder blades. Our head is free of the weight. And as we exhale, one vertebrae at a time, coming back down towards the earth. Bringing both of our knees towards our belly again and rocking side to side. Breathing deeply and making our way into our Shavasana. You may want to bolster or block under your knees, or if you're taking care of the back, we'll bend the knees, walk the feet out to the long edges of your mat, and then your knees will drop back towards each other. Or we're out flat with the legs, with the pinkies going out towards the mat, letting the legs be free of tension. If anyone would care for an eye cover, I can bring you one. Awesome. Magic. Welcome. Raise your hands one more time. Go. Welcome. There you go. Bringing the awareness within. Today's meditation is about snowflakes to prepare you for the snow. Closing our eyes and starting to feel the support of the earth coming up to support the whole weight of your body today. And in turn, trusting the earth and allowing the whole weight of your body to be supported. Giving yourself and trusting. Letting all the muscles of your body relax. And as we settle into this peaceful feeling, imagining you're standing in a beautiful meadow with a light dusting of snow, where the snow is gently falling, one big beautiful snowflake at a time. You are safe, you are warm and relaxed. Looking around and noticing all the different trees. Taking a deep breath in, imagining the crisp, cool winter air entering your body, refreshing you. Exhaling and releasing that. Imagining the sound of the crunch of your boots on the snow as you walk. Bringing our kind and gentle attention back to the snow falling. As each snowflake gently lands on you, imagine that it becomes a brilliant spark of pure light. Spark by spark by spark of pure light landing on your body, on your jacket. And as each snowflake peacefully touches you, it bestows upon you a beautiful blessing of joy, of wonder, for the miracle of snow and the childlike love for the world. Let yourself absorb all of the light, the wonder, the joy, all of the beautiful blessings of the snowflakes, and feel yourself full of happiness. Enjoying our Shavasana now, all on our own. Bringing ourselves back from our snowflakes. You can start to notice the light of the room, imagining the four walls, even picturing yourself laying here peaceful, a place that's always there. That peaceful spot's always within you. Let's bring some awareness to our fingers, our toes, our ankles. Small movements. Moving our head slightly side to side, waking up our necks. Take your time. If something doesn't feel right, pulling back. We can stretch long if that feels okay for you. And when you're ready, rolling over onto one side. You can check in with the breath there. Check in with the body. pressing down into the earth, making our way up to an easy seated position. Unless, of course, it doesn't feel nice for your knees. You could bring your legs out straight or sit on your bolster. Take a big breath in. Exhaling, drawing the hands down to the heart. Inhaling openness today. Exhaling any negativity. Let's take a few more big breaths, thinking of openness however you want to think of openness. It can mean so many things. And one more. Exhale forward. Nice bend for our back. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. Thank you to our friends at home. Have a good day. See you next time.